Fran, for all you've done in this community over the years. Thank you. You're what, in the political world, I would have called a challenging group. You look like a group of people who have been locked in a room for 6 hours, been using incredible mental energy, and are at the point of sort of almost physical and mental exhaustion having done that. So this next part is going to be fun. It's going to be interactive. It's going to be participatory. Everybody has to participate. Just a couple of quick words from me first. I have in my iPad like every Bob Dylan song ever written, and I cycle through occasionally, but I have to give you the first stanza from this Bob Dylan song because it's so perfect. Come gather around people wherever you roam. Now, you're going to date yourself, you guys. You're going to stand up and start singing. But come gather around people wherever you roam and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. For the times, they are a-changing. And you gotta put it on your iPad and listen to the whole song. I swear you will be crying by the time the song is over. How did somebody like 40 or 50 years ago write a song so completely prophetic for the time that we inhabit today? What an inspirational day this has been. From Samso Island to all of the local energy, this is going to change. And as Dorothy said, or somebody said at our table, we had a bank board meeting. I have the privilege of serving on Dorothy's board and seeing real leadership in action, so I thank you for that. Yesterday, the board meeting was about culture, internal culture, and it was so perfect because I woke up this morning thinking about the board meeting and cultural shift. And what we're really talking about here on Cape Cod is a cultural shift. And the cultural shift is one where each and every one of us on this peninsula gets up in the morning and says to themselves the following: we do not inherit this earth from our parents. We borrow it from our children. And if you've ever lent your car to somebody or borrowed, had somebody borrow, or you borrow, or your house or something else, you don't lend somebody your car expecting to get back a cinder box. If you really think about this as we are borrowing this environment and this place that we inhabit from our children and future generations, we will be stewards of it in a very, very different way. And the challenge we have, even though a lot of incredible technical people are here, and we're going to figure this out, and we can boil everything down to kilowatt hours and to cost per kilowatt hour and how we pay for it and how we finance it. And while I was sitting here with Dorothy Savarese, we got Cape Cod 5 to commit to fund it, finance, and lend to every renewable energy project. Because the reality of all this, and I'll speak as a businessman and yes, a capitalist for a minute. The reality of all this is the future money will pay for it, and it will create jobs, and it will save the environment, and it will be leadership all over the world. As we heard earlier, Massachusetts is in a position to be a leader. It's because we have the intellectual capital. We also have the economic capital here. We're a very wealthy state. And shame on us for not harnessing the wealth and harnessing the intellectual capital and showing that leadership, which will resonate around the world. That is what we can do. I love the fact that we are talking about starting this at a very local and community level. I love the fact that there are leaders from the town here and from the county here, and by extension the state and beyond, because it does need to start at a grassroots level, and it can and it will. And part of these breakout sessions is going to be about really figuring out what each of our sectors that have been identified here can do. You're going to vision it, but then you're going to commit to real, tangible goals and how that plugs into the vision, the big picture vision. So in just a second, we're going to break out into those groups, and we're going to get it done. All of these projects, everything we're talking about, can be paid for by forward future revenue sources that already exist. And I'll tell you, as the legislator for 6 years here, what I ran into in the State House was not, why aren't we doing the art of the possible? It was the incredible power of status quo. It was not that the money is not there to pay for this revolution we need, but the people who are benefiting from the way things are today are purposely and intentfully stopping us from doing what is right in the future. So the community organizing we have to do is there is a certain amount of speaking truth to power. And that's very uncomfortable for some people. Some people don't even like to go to marches because they don't want to be in a group of big people, much less take 5 people and go to the State House. But what you heard earlier is true. The most powerful thing that got my ass to move, and by the way, it's not that hard to get me to move. I mean, some of the people are more entrenched than I am. But it's when a group of really motivated, passionate, visionary people showed up in my office in the State House and said, my God, why can't you get this done? You've got to get behind this. So, do that. Get up there. It makes a difference. Not that many people do it. So that's what I would say. So the fun part is going to be when we come back, so I'm going to shut up. I don't know, Mon or Fran, how are we doing the breakouts? Are we going to different places? Okay, so I'm going to let you come up and do that. Then we're going to reconvene, make the commitments, and we're going to sort of have fun interactively making commitments and articulating the vision. Thanks.